Hey YouTubers, well, we didn't have a show yesterday, so we kind of doubled up today. We had a lot to talk about. Talked about the Giants versus the Vikings, what the Packers are going to need to do against the Vikings, and we introduced a new game called Love It or Leave It, which looked like people had a lot of fun with. So you're going to want to check it out. Packer football is back. Good Packer Nation morning. Good Packer Nation morning, everybody. I am back. So I named the show I'm Back, Baby. Missed the show yesterday. I apologize for that. I will go into more detail about that in a minute. But as we always do on this show, we're going to start with Packer Nation roll call. Let me know who you are, where you're coming at me from, and we'll do a little shout out at the beginning of the show as everybody gets on and gets warmed up and I get my notes together. Which I have myriad notes today. So who's out there? Angel is here. Good morning, Angel. Good to see you. Sean is here as well. Good morning. Richard, good from Sydney, Australia. All right, we got the Australian crew is coming on board. Where's my buddy Jared? Richard. I got to remember the names though. So Richard is here from Sydney, Australia. Fantastic. Gustavo is here. Grayson is here as well, and Roger Cox. Good to see you, buddy. There's my cousin, Trent. He was, okay, so Trent, I get this message right before I go on, and all it says is, can Minnesota please just lose a game? And so we all feel your pain. Candy is here. Daniel, Patrick, Sean is back. Good to see you. Joshua as well. Good morning, Packer Nation. It's good to be back. I missed talking to you guys yesterday. Scotty is here, Patrick, Jackie as well, and Daniel from Wichita, Kansas. All right, good to see all you guys. Missed talking to you yesterday, but first things first. If you are very happy that it is another week of Packer football, why don't you just reach up and touch that heart button right now with me? If you are loving that we actually can talk about a game this time around, no more bye week. It's in the rearview mirror. Just reach up and touch that heart button. Michelle, Ricky, Terry. I know you guys are loving it. Sam, Kelsey, Annette. They're all here. Trevor is here with a good morning. Jacqueline as well from Minneapolis. I see those hearts rolling across the screen. I see some double clutch hearts or whatever you call those things on here. Scotty, DM is back. No, that means we have to win to keep up. I assume you're talking about the Vikings winning. We're going to talk about that and a lot more on this show, guys. This is going to be, I'm going to try to make up for being gone yesterday. So if you have to go to work or whatever, you just sign off, say goodbye whenever you need to. All of those who can stay in, gonna be hanging with me during the show will be great too. Gonna try some new things. But yeah, yesterday I got on, typed the title of the show, got ready to go, and Facebook basically told me, no, you're not going to be doing that today. I was having trouble with the network across all my devices, so I knew it was going to be probably a problem anyway. But I was going to go on and just, give it a go. Facebook would not let me, so there was something going on that is apparently cleared up. So I'm happy about that and very happy to be back. Yeah, guys, but I do apologize. I even got on and posted that we're going to go live in 45 like I try to do, to let you guys know if you want Facebook to let you know when I go live, if you just, I think you reach up and touch the screen and it'll give you the offer to follow the show. And then Facebook, if your push notifications are set, should let you know when I go live. So I've have talked to somebody, my friend Andy out there, who I'm going to go visit in a little bit right after the show. He had said that, he apparently had it set, but for some reason it wasn't notifying him. But anyway. All right, guys, we don't have Packer football to talk about just yet. We're going to talk about the matchup with the Giants, of course, all week long. Rick Motti is here, and Ross Janes is here. Yeah, Ross is accusing me of too much partying after Benja's big win. He won the city championship. And yes, I did party, but my little buddy wasn't here this weekend, so I had to party on my own. So, by the way, if you wanted to see a picture of that, there are a few of you out there. I'm just going to take a minute. There are a few of you out there. I have nothing against, if you want to Facebook friend request me, my personal box. In fact, I've offered that a time or two if people had questions or whatnot. It's just Brady Augustine. Should be easy to find. You'll see my ugly mug. And you can request me. Just keep in mind, sometimes I sort of just indiscriminately go through and okay everybody. But I may not recognize your name, so just keep that in mind. Maybe sometimes it lets you. I see a J.R. Augustine from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Is it Junior or J.R.? My brother's name is J.R. Augustine, but it said Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the face looked different. That was very, very strange, so I had to make a mention of that. Give me a holler, buddy. Browen is here. What a cool name. But anyway, if you want to friend request me, my personal page, that's fine. I get on there from time to time. I'll do different things there. Like I do my goofy stuff. Sometimes I just throw up different stuff. But at any rate, you're welcome to do so. All right, guys, the Vikings beat the freaking Giants. We said this week that my name is Brady Augustine, and you should be able to find me, Scotty, without any problem. And I'll try to look for you if you friend request me. I got nothing against it. Just keep in mind, I may not recognize your name right off the cuff, so just keep that in mind. Vikings beat the Giants 24-10. Here's what we hoped. We hoped that the Giants could finally freaking get one done. And we're going to play a new game later on, okay? I want to do this game on Mondays called Love It or Leave It, and I'm just going to do a rapid-fire bunch of stuff, and you hit the button to tell me whether you love it or leave it. We're going to do that in a minute. But I do want to take a minute to say, come on, Giants. Jeez. Could you not just pull one off? I know it's tough. Oh, Richard, you're going to love it or leave it later on. So I'm just going to clue you in on that. But could they not just pull off this game? What we wanted was the Giants to win this game, have a big emotional win, and then the Vikings, they got to play the Vikings. They got to go Monday night to Sunday night, and they got to play the Packers, and then we could whoop their heinies. We could beat their we could beat their butts and send them on their way. Well, now Vikings 4-0, and I've got to say something, and I hate it. It pains me to say this, but guess what? I mean, that Vikings US Bank Stadium is looking like it's going to be a very tough place to win in. I've got to give credit where credit is due. Yes, they blow that cussing horn. They get the crowd going. It's loud. However, I will say this to the Vikings, you do not have that advantage against the Packers next time. We will meet again. It's going to be a different story. So David is saying the Vikings will fold. Boy, that US Bank Stadium looks like it's going to be a fort that they are going to hold down at this point. But yeah, would have loved to see the freaking Giants finally pull it off. And we'll get to it later, because I am going to do a mic drop on Odell Beckham later. From now on, I'm calling Odell Beckman just to show disrespect to this guy, because it's my right. I'm gonna be a child about it, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, Giants couldn't get it done. The Vikings defense, we talked about the injuries they have, but they are holding strong at US Bank Stadium. Big win now over the Giants. These are teams, again, every NFC North team is playing every NFC East team this time around. So all of these matchups become matchups that we need to watch. This game, Vikings versus the Giants, was by far the most interesting game of the weekend for me. So LB says I'm breaking up. It's looking good here, and I hope it clears up. Yeah, we've got to play all these guys. Trevor is getting on saying the Eagles maybe they have a chance to beat the Vikings. And Trevor, I don't have it in front of me whether the Vikings have to play that game away in Philadelphia or not. But the Packers have their matchup against the Eagles off-site. This is not a Lambeau game, so that is going to be a tough one to keep our eye on. Hey there, Jeff. How you doing? Browen has got me. That's such a cool name. I love that name. Says she's got me clear. So hopefully everything's good. Yeah, that was a difficult one to watch. Honestly, I turned it off halfway through. I was just like, I can't watch the rest of this. It's late here, and I just wasn't gonna. I couldn't do it. Rick, good morning. So at any rate, I woke up the next morning seeing exactly what I expected, that the Vikings did beat the Giants. I am going to watch that game in retrospect. I've been watching it today a little bit, checked out the highlights, because I have a few things I want to say about it. All right. But that one's in the rearview mirror. Nothing we can do about that now. But the Packers need to focus on the Giants now too. This is going to be a tough week for the Giants. They're looking to get a marquee win on the road. That is one of the things that they've got their eye on, and now they've got their sights set on the Green Bay Packers, and we can't let them have that joy. especially not at Lambeau Field. We need to run the table right now. We've got these all of October basically squared away at Lambeau Field, and we need to do our job. We need to get her done. So, all right, I want to play a game, okay? I wanted to play a game, and I conceived of this game because I wanted to do something on Mondays that was a little more fun and a little more laid back and interactive, okay? So I conceived of this game, and it may or may not be good. I don't know, but I will ask that at the end as well. I'm going to call it Love It or Leave It, all right? So here's how it works, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw at you some sort of rapid-fire occurrences, news items, things like that from the Packers, from around the league. And what I want you to do is, if you love it, obviously, hit the heart button, okay? If you could leave it, then you hit the angry face, all right? And sometimes I'm just going to list these off and let you just go. Sometimes I'm going to go off on them on my own if I want to put my opinion in. Sometimes I'll put my opinion in, sometimes I won't. But let's try this now. So what you want to do is warm up that thumb and get ready to hit the heart button for love it, the angry face for leave it, and leave it is going to be, that just means, it doesn't necessarily mean, if you say leave it for a Packer-oriented item, that doesn't mean you hate the Packers. That doesn't mean, it just means you're not on board with whatever the statement is, okay? I've already got angry faces going across the board. Chad's here. Good to see you, Chad. All right, so love it or leave it, folks. If you're driving, do not play this game. Okay, so love it or leave it, the Lions losing to the Bears this weekend. All right? Do you love it or do you leave it? If you love it, it's because, right, it puts the Lions down in the NFC North, right? But what about the statement that game made? Because the freaking Lions on the Bears defense could not even they put up 14 points, 10 points less than they put up on the Packers. Do you love it or do you leave it? Hit the heart button if you love it and the angry face if you leave it. Most people are loving it, it looks like. Lions getting beat down by the Bears. I know if my friend Dale Stoops is out there, he is loving it because his Bears finally got a win. Love it or leave it, Odell Beckham. I'm going to call him. I'm totally going to go off on this one. I am going to call Odell Beckman from now on, just to be kind of a douche, just to go all cuss off on him. He is a nut job. And Odell Beckham, you cost your team points yesterday. Not only with the unsportsmanlike conduct, everybody is leaving Odell Beckham right now so far. You are a basket case, dude. Anybody out there, yes, you are a great player. Nobody is going to argue with your athletic ability, the ability that you have, but you are a nut job, Beckman. Odell Beckham, you are the Macaulay Culkin of the NFL. I can't stand watching you play the game. All right, anybody see Eli Manning? Okay, this is the play this is the kind of thing that gets under my craw. It's the off the field crap. It's the after you have a crappy game where you show that you are a nut job. And then you talk, and then the only thing you do is make up excuses like, if I tie my shoes wrong, they're going to throw a flag on me. No, if you commit unsportsmanlike conduct, they will throw a flag on you. You are the Macaulay Culkin of the NFL. Here's the play that gets me. Now, if I was a player on this guy's team, I would be having a heart-to-heart with Odell Beckham right now. The play, two high safeties, Eli Manning sees it. I don't know if he made a hand gesture or what. Odell Beckham, all you had to do was split the safeties and you had a touchdown on that play. What you did instead was go pursue contact with Xavier Rhodes. You pursued contact past the legal line, and because you pursued contact, you were off your route. You had a chance for a touchdown and you blew it pursuing contact and then you had the nerve to off the field, in the locker room, wherever it was, to say that other teams aren't getting in your head. You are a nut job, Beckman. You are a nut job. That's all I've got to say. You are the Macaulay Culkin of football. You've got everything going for you and you fall apart. You are a mental case. Love it or leave it, Odell Beckman. you could say love it because, the guy, he adds something to the sport, right? He adds intrigue, he adds interest, and he has all the athletic tools to be a fantastic player. This guy could be a Hall of Famer. Right now, if I saw Odell Beckham in the Hall of Fame or wearing a gold jacket, I would seethe right now. I would seethe. All right, that's my mic drop for today. Boom. Oh, and I'm realizing I don't have the Precious on when I do the mic drop. All right, love it or leave it, guys. The Packers offense. I'm throwing that one at you. Now, from time to time, I'm going to try to put you on the horns of a dilemma when I do love it or leave it. So love it or leave it, the Packers offense, all told. And there's no, you don't get to do any in-betweens, okay? Love it or leave it. I got a lot of people saying leave it. I don't see a lot of love for the Packers offense. This makes me think a lot of you are kind of, you're still waiting for proof. You're waiting for a full game by the offense. It's legit. It's legit. Okay, guys, love it or leave it, that freaking cussin' Vikings horn that they blow all the time. Love it or leave it. I think we can go with the angry faces for a little bit. Love it or leave it, the Vikings freaking that cussin' horn that they're always blowing. A lot of leave it there. I'm having Dunkin' Donuts coffee, by the way. Too much left to prove, it says Jim. So he's hitting the leave it button right now. All right, guys, love it or leave it. Players in pink. It's October. What do you think about the players wearing pink? Players in pink. And I am going to make my case on this one. I will tell you very clearly, I love it. I just love... I know it's certainly not a perfect system, a perfect world. I love to see the NFL supporting breast cancer awareness. I have plenty of personal reasons all the way back to when my babysitter was my mom's best friend. I hate cancer. I lost my best friend to cancer. I love that the players wear pink. And I think that's freaking awesome, and I absolutely love it, and I hope that you guys do too. There's some leave it. Some can say leave it because there's all kinds of reasons you could say leave it. I have nothing against that, and I don't think anybody saying leave it right now is probably saying anything about breast cancer awareness. They're just, making their point about how they feel about the players wearing pink. Remember, we say here on this show, real men wear pink. So it's okay from that standpoint. Color rush jerseys, guys, love it or leave it. The color rush jerseys come on in the Bears game. And I think color rush, I think is the Bears game. I think the Bears will be wearing theirs as well. Love it or leave it, guys. Color Rush jerseys. I got some love for the Color Rush jerseys. Rick is out there giving all kinds of love for the Color Rush jersey. Jared is saying salmon once again. He is holding his line on salmon. Are you a big fish eater, Jared, or something? Love it or leave it, the Color Rush uniforms. We got to wear those in the Bears game, so they're all white. I'm kind of grooving on them. I am one that I have nothing against. If the Packers were wearing different unis all the time, that would bother me. We have held pat on our official, home and away jerseys. I would never want to see those changed. I don't have anything against, once in a while throwing a little bit. I like the idea of the throwback. I love that idea. The Color Rush, I'm going to watch the game and see what I think finally, but I'm kind of grooving on it right now. All right, last but not least, this is the important one. Love it or leave it. The game, love it or leave it. All right? Because if you don't like this, I don't need to do it. It's fine. It's totally fine. But love it or leave it. The game, love it or leave it. We'll do it every Monday. If you guys hit the heart button right now, I will be doing it every Monday for you. It will get better. Rick is loving it. All right, Rick is giving it a lot of love. Love it or leave it. I'm getting some hearts come across the page. I'm going to say it's a love it. So we will be doing every Monday, we'll be doing love it or leave it. If I forget, you guys can freaking get on and just ream me for it because, again, I have got a great one. I got to do one more love it or leave it, okay? Because Brian, I'm going to give you a shout out for this one because he mentioned John Kuhn. Love it or leave it, John Kuhn scores 3 touchdowns for the Saints in their win against the Chargers, I think it was. I can't remember, actually. So love it or leave it, John Kuhn scores 3 touchdowns. And if you say leave it, I would kind of get the hint that you're like, man, we should have kept the guy, okay? So that would be one way to look at it. All right, Jared's loving it. Kuhn, we got Kuhn out there. Here, hats off to you, John. Congratulations. Very happy for you. Happy that you found a job, because fullback position, it's hard to find work anymore in the NFL. You are a stand-up guy. You're one heck of a player. You are an old school football guy, fan favorite. I love it. I just can't say enough about John Kuhn. I'm not super upset anymore that he's not going to be a Packer. We're not going to see him in the green and gold. Mostly to me, I'm just happy. I'm just happy for the guy. I couldn't be happier for the guy, including he scored the go-ahead touchdown, if I'm remembering right, in that game. So love it or leave it, John Kuhn. 3 touchdowns in 1 game. All right, well, that is kind of the end of my notes for right now, so you can get rid of that. It's not the end of my notes. Actually, I've got a ton of notes and so much. This is like, I got like 3 pages from, I didn't do a show over the weekend and then missing Monday, so I'm going to have to weed some of this out, or the show is going to get too long. Guys, what do we got to do to beat the Giants? Number 1, we got to get healthy. This team is a little bit banged up. We had our bye week. It looks like Morgan Burnett will be coming back. It looks like Sam Shields will not. So this team needs to get healthy, number 1 thing. We've got to get our defense put back together. I'm already moved on to injury updates. You're way behind, Josh, so the comment stream is latent. We've got to get healthy. We need to get Sam Shields back. Morgan Burnett is the biggest guy we need to get back. Looks like we're going to get him back. I've said it all along. He plays that he's basically the quarterback of our defense back there. Definitely the quarterback of the defensive backfield. The loss of Morgan Burnett contributed to the points that the Detroit Lions put up against us. Obviously, we want Sam Shields back as well. Hopefully he will be. The protocol is what it is. He's just gonna have to pass his benchmarks, and then he'll be back. So Rick is saying McCarthy needs to call a good game. That's actually one of the love it or leave it's that I forgot, because I was going to ask about about Coach McCarthy's play calling. Hey, see ya, Jared. Have a good one. All right, take care. He's way past his bedtime. All right, get the ring. Sleep well, man. Yeah, we've got to get healthy. We will eventually, if we haven't already. I believe Clay Matthews will be back. We've got to pray. Okay, Patrick is making a good point. We've got to get pressure on Eli. Eli Manning, there's 2 things. We've got to get pressure on Eli because, this guy is he's a Super Bowl champ. A lot of people are kind of get down on Eli Manning. He doesn't get nearly the press I think that he deserves. He has a wide receiver core around him, Shepard, Victor, and then of course Odell Beckham. If we can get in Odell Beckman's head early and often, we will have a good day against him. But that's not the Packers' MO. I just don't see us necessarily doing that. I could see a guy like Daniels getting in his head, but I just don't think that that's our style. I think we're kind of a business mindset. Guyan is back. That will help. Yes, we are getting healthy, and that's, of course, the most important thing. I think we can beat the Giants. I think if we, like you said, if we get pressure on Eli on offense, I think if we run the ball well the way we were, I will say, and I didn't get a chance. I'll go over this again tomorrow. I do want to go over this. My favorite offensive series in the Detroit Lions game was the first series after we scored all our points, okay? The only reason we didn't score more points during that series, it was a brilliant series. We saw Eddie Lacy. I'll just go over it out of my head. I broke it down one play at a time. The things I loved about that series, the first offensive series there in the second half, we didn't score points. Here's the things that I didn't like. We didn't score points because we had a holding that brought back Aaron Rodgers' nice scramble for a first down. He went all the way to the 15-yard line, and then we had to have it called back. The other thing I didn't like was we saw James Starks get rotated in, and then it was like he never left the field again. We never saw Eddie Lacy come back for several plays at that point. Those are the 2 things that still concern me a little bit about it. One of the things we're looking at is, guys, we have to be a more disciplined team right now. We are not a terribly undisciplined team, and I don't know where we rank in the league, but these penalties are killing us. We don't have so many of them, but we have. Yes, I know, Justin. I said it on purpose because Odell Beckham is what I'm going to call him from now on because he is a jughead. Okay, so I want to clear that up. So just saying Odell Beckham is what you'll hear come out of my mouth from now on. Out of, you can call me a punk, maybe. I'm doing it because I feel like it, and it's my show, and I just don't like the guy. I hate virtually everything he does, and I don't like us in particular. I don't like guys who have everything in the world in front of them, the entire world in front of this guy. Could be a Hall of Famer, and all he's known for is all of this other external crap that goes on. So that's my. Thank you, Lindsay agrees. Yeah. So on offense, I really loved that initial series. We saw Eddie Lacy run the ball like 4 times in a row. And what they did with him, we talked about this before. To my mind, there are 2 types of offensive run. They all break down one way or the other. Either you're working east to west and then you're looking for a north to south, or you're going north to south and then you're looking to break east to west. When Eddie Lacy is facing east to west, when his shoulder pads are squared to the sideline, we lose yardage almost every time. I would love to go back through it and look it over and do some kind of, so it's an anecdotal comment at this point. But every time we turn Eddie Lacy's shoulder pads east to west, we end up losing yardage. Get Eddie Lacy north to south. Now, we did a couple quick pitches in this game, in that series, but Eddie Lacy was partially squared to the line of scrimmage. So we had him moving north to south. And then we got the quick pitching. He could find the hole that we wanted. We blocked them up well. This was a fantastic series. And remember, you guys will all remember the play. Off the left guard, off our good friend now, Lane Taylor. And our offensive line pushes the pile for like 7 more yards after contact with Eddie Lacy in the middle. It was a cadre. What you see is this offensive line is, and I said it before, I'll say it again, they love run blocking for Eddie Lacy. And you can give me a heart right now, maybe as an interactive, if you love seeing Eddie Lacy get going and this offensive line get excited about run blocking for Eddie Lacy, give me a heart right now, because remember, how important is this going to be in December at Lambeau? Guys, it is going to be crucial this year, more so than other years, to be quite honest. We've got that Seahawks game, then we've got the entire run of the NFC North in December. Eddie Lacy and this running game, him staying healthy, our offensive line staying healthy, could very well, right now, you mark my words, and heart me if you agree, you could very well see Eddie Lacy be the difference between home field advantage through the playoffs and getting and playing for a wild card spot. It's going to be a tough 13 games for these Green Bay Packers. And those broad shoulders and big, strong legs of Eddie Lacy are going to be a big reason whether we can run the table at Lambeau, take care of business on the road in November, which is the characterizing feature of November. And there's that Eagles game we talked about earlier. And then finally be able to do what we need to do in December to freaking get it done. And look at the possibility, if we can be in good shape and we can handle that big away stretch, which we are prepared to do. We've already done it. We've already done 4 games away. 2 of them were preseason, but we understand the scheduling side of it. This team in December, if we are able to turn it on and run the ball effectively in December, and Eddie Lacy, if as a running back, he and James Starks are going to have something to say, but we need to put the ball in Eddie Lacy's hands and ride that horse. So let's make sure that we keep him healthy. But one thing I absolutely adore is seeing this offensive line just loving blocking for Eddie Lacy. So Rick is saying Carson Wentz is really good off topic a little bit. The kid can flat out play. And so it's going to be up to the Packers now. And of course, we know playing in Philadelphia is not a treat. Those fans are brutal. There's a show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, based on that. It's the baseball side of it, but talking about how brutal Philadelphia fans can be. It's not going to be a fun game, folks. That's one of those I've got circled, especially in that November run. But it's not going to be an easy game. But to win against the Giants again, we need to run the ball. Let's get north and south with Eddie Lacy. Let's let this offensive line do what it can do best right now. And of course, I think the Giants defense is not what it used to be, I don't believe. So I think the Packers can get it done. Obviously, Friday we'll be doing Prediction Friday. The Packers need to get this one done. We had what I thought was a very good win against the Detroit Lions, but it was a good win that, again, we had this there was a little bit of hesitation about it. Like, there was part of it that we just couldn't feel good about. Now, I went back and I watched those last few series, and I felt a lot better about that win. And Trent, you had to bring up, my cousin Trent had to bring up the 4th and 28. Holy crap, that was just, I remember that was a bad time in my life for many reasons, and that game made it all the worse. But we're going to turn that one around this time around, so cheers. But yeah, Packers need to beat the Vikings, and this week we'll be talking all about it. We'll break it down a little bit more. This show has gone long, so I am going to sign off here pretty soon. Just in case I had some other things, one of the things we are looking at, and I talked about the Minnesota Vikings right now, and this goes to our topic. The Minnesota Vikings right now are +9 in the turnover column, +9. And a very big part of the reason that they're getting it done, this is one of the things we haven't seen enough of from the Green Bay Packers. If they don't have cut-ups of Ladarius Gunter and Micah Hyde, and who else was it? Joe Thomas, missing interceptions that were in their hands, then this coaching staff did not do their job. We don't, in this league, especially, look at the quarterbacks we're playing. We got to play the Falcons later on. Look at the quarterbacks that we're up against. We've got guys that are not going to give up the ball easily. You could, you can throw Jay Cutler in there. We get a couple of games with Jay Cutler, but we're not even going to see Jay Cutler most likely anymore. He was hurt. He may lose his starting job as far as I'm concerned. Because they got this big win against Detroit. John Fox is mulling it over for sure. I don't know if anything's been announced because I don't pay that much attention to Chicago Bears. But we are not going to have that many opportunities. And in a game where we had 3 opportunities to get interceptions that were in our hands, we've got to get that cleaned up. I know that they were sort of quick twitch plays, but there can't be any excuses. We've got to get winning the turnover battle. Joshua's mentioning it. Big part of winning is being a plus in the turnover game. We saw in the preseason just how hungry for turnovers this defense has been. I think it's going to improve. Obviously, it's going to get easier when we get our pass rush back. Obviously, it's going to be easier when we get Morgan Burnett back. But we didn't have any of those guys in the Detroit game. How much more do we need to make those plays? It's very important, extremely important. So, yeah, I'll kind of finish with that because I think that's going to be one of the keys to the game against the Giants. We don't want to give them a chance. We don't want them to we don't want them to be anywhere but in our rearview mirror by the time the 3rd and 4th quarter roll around in this game. Eli Manning, this is one thing about Eli Manning, he's shown he can get it done in big games. This is a worst case scenario. Now we're looking at the possibility, not only is it important for us to win at home, but it's important for us just to keep the Vikings in our sights. The Vikings look like a team that can, they're going to do a lot of damage right now. And you look at all the similar games that we have to play. So now you're looking at a situation where does that final game against the Vikings in week 16 down there before we play Detroit, does that game come down to a playoff scenario or a home field advantage scenario? And we mentioned this before. It looks like it was breaking up a little bit. We mentioned this also. Remember, we play the Vikings, the situation there, but not only that, but then in week 17, we've got to go to Detroit, and the Vikings get a freaking bye week against the Bears. And I know, everybody's going to get on and say, you can't overlook any team. I know you can't overlook any team, but my gosh, look at the comparison. There is no comparison between having to play Detroit in Detroit for us and the Vikings. Then they get the Bears for their final NFC North rivalry game of the season. That's going to be an interesting one, and a lot of what happens in between. And that's why when Trent got on and he's like, why can't we just, what we're holding our breath for is, if we could just see the Vikings drop one, then we've got something on tape too to see what can we do. But again, the sky is not falling. We've got them right in our sights. We are right in the thick of things. So I'll end with this. And you'll hear me remind Packer Nation of this time and time again. I'll close the show with this, guys. We lost by 3 points in a game that we did not play very well. We'll get some things cleaned up. We'll hopefully stay healthy. I like the way McCarthy manages the team and manages the players' bodies. It's going to be a long run, a long 13 games, and hopefully more. But hopefully we can get her done. Well, it's Packer football is back. It's Tuesday already. Tomorrow's hump day. We're going to get there. We got to wait again till Sunday night, and this schedule is so weird. But we got to wait till Sunday night. But as Kim said, I'll close the show with your words, Kim. We just need to take care of business. And the Packers, we've seen once again over the bye week, we haven't heard of any guys getting in trouble or messing around. They took care of business over the bye week, presumably. We'll take care of business Sunday night, okay? So, yeah, Giants are up against it because they had to play on Monday, had to play a Sunday night game then to follow. Let's leave it at that. Take care of business, get the ring. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, regular time. I'm going to get on here. We are back. I'm not going to have any problems. In fact, I'm going to look into getting some things fixed here. Talk to you later, Rick. And yeah, as we close out, if you didn't get a shout out, go ahead and let me know who you are, where you're coming at me from. Ross Janes, I almost forgot. Ross has sent me a post. I'm going to be putting that together in a post on greenbaypackernation.com. And you are going to love it. It's just basically like a chalk talk like Larry McCarron does. This guy is great, lives in Iowa, and I want to say Dubuque, and I hope I'm right about that. But you're going to love it. So we'll put that up. I'll put it on the Facebook fan page so you guys can see it come out. Peace out, MJ. Have a good one. All right, you guys. Terry is here on the way out. Wesley on the way out. Peter is here. Make sure. I don't know if I saw you earlier, but good to see you, buddy. Peter's the guy that's sending me Honduran coffee. So you freaking rock. I am drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee today because it was cheap, and frankly, I hate it. All right, Ross, yes, it is Dubuque. Okay, good. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to put that together in a post, and we'll get it out today as soon as I get some other things done. I'm going to say hi to my buddy Andy. I'm headed across town to see you in just a minute, and we'll have a chat. Trevor is here. Marikal, I'm not sure how. Marikal, what a cool Mac, okay, goes by Mac. I can kind of see why, but it's a cool name. I love these unique names. It's great to see you from Cali, Packer fan for life. All right, Peter's here from North Carolina. All right, folks, have a good morning, Pat. We will talk to you, everybody else. Go Packers and get the ring.